Hi, I'm Erin Rose Widener, and welcome to Hollywood Defined. This week, we'll look at the challenges that face an associate producer in post-production. An associate producer runs the post-production department. Let's find out more. Here's Moviola's exclusive visual glossary of terms.
An associate producer is responsible for specific elements delegated to them by the producer or executive producer. This means anything from contributing important creative ideas to a script to supervising the final stages of post-production. The roles an associate producer can fill are diverse, so their backgrounds tend to be wide-ranging. Many senior script editors skilled at solving story problems and developing screenplays step into the role of associate producer. Associate producers may also start out as production managers, post-production supervisors, or digital effects supervisors.
We sat down with Alan Marshall Palmer, the associate producer on Cinemax's hit series Banshee. Let's listen in.
The simplest description of what it means to be a post-producer is that it's your responsibility to carry the creative vision of the executive producers all the way through to the finished product. One of the big challenges of the show is how to stay in communication with people, make sure that post concerns are being addressed and understand what their needs are and how we can help them out. There are a lot of days where I'm literally at my dining room table at home just on the phone with the production team in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Overseeing post is a technical job, so obviously you have some creative responsibilities, but then you have to have a real broad knowledge technically. How do you balance those two things?
It's one of those things where you have to understand the process, technology, and then kind of figure out how to optimize it for the particular project. Moving from House onto Banshee was a really great experience because with Banshee, it was starting a new show from the ground up. Having the facility background to draw upon is that you've seen there are many, many ways to get a show done. And you don't get locked into this idea of, well, we're doing it this way because this is how we did it last time.
There are more women producers working on independent features than big-budget Hollywood films. According to a study done by the Sundance Institute and Women in Film Los Angeles, narrative film productions have only 33% of producers and 40% of associate producers who are women. But in documentaries, women make up 42% of producers and almost 60% of associate producers. Let's return to our interview with Alan to hear how he compares producing a show for cable versus producing for a broadcast network.
Anybody who's ever worked on a first season show on network knows just how difficult it is, because what happens is you shoot a pilot, you have say 14 days to shoot this pilot, you spend all this money on visual effects, you get picked up, and then you come back and you're like, all right guys, we got to shoot this in 8 days. If you stumble coming out of the gate, you're dead. It's just so unfortunate that all this money and work is put into these shows and they never really get a chance because they're sort of smothered in the crib. It's not through malice, it's just everyone is trying to, get in there and save the show. So I think that's one great thing about, working with HBO. We had the commitment, we were going to do these episodes. Many of them were written, they knew what they were getting. And I see that as sort of the future of where television is going. By putting more attention into fewer episodes, it just raises the quality of the work everyone can do. If you're doing 22 episodes a season, there's going to be those great episodes that you remember, but a lot of times it can be a grind. Most of the stuff that I watch now is on cable, and I think that's, becoming more and more true for people because we all have busy lives, and when we are watching something, you kind of got to make it count.
Well, it's about time to wrap up this week's episode. For more of the interview with Alan, more visual glossary of terms, and a host of other learning tools, check out the other parts of Moviola.com or download the app for your iPhone and iPad. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week when we define another Hollywood role.